Hey everyone, here we have an interesting case, and I have the court docket for it that we'll go over afterwards. So with that, let's jump in.
Committee on Parole's call to order today is Wednesday, January the 4th, 11:25 a.m. My name is Brennan Kelsey. I'll be chair. Along with me is Ms. Cheryl Knotson, Ms. Bonnie Jackson, staff and support of DNC headquarters in Baton Rouge. Our remote location is Hunt Correctional Center with staff and support at Hunt. Please introduce yourself.
Deputy Warden Jason Russ.
Christy LeBlanc, classification.
Joe Buttress, Assistant Warden.
I thank you. We also have here today who'll be speaking or by TV, Carrie Myers, Dominique Minor, who won't be speaking, Edward Johnson, Rachel Connor, and Grace Bronson. It's appropriate time, guys. Okay, thank you. All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DSC number again.
Jonnie Folley, 102576.
All right, Johnny, you heard the introduction. We'll have a parole interview, ask you some questions, you can respond. At the end, you can make a statement, we'll take a vote. Do you understand the process?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jonnie Folley, DOC number 102576. You are a second class offender, parole eligibility date 2/7/2006. Adjusted your good time 7/21/2031, full term date 9/21/2081, 99 years, armed robbery, second degree, attempted second degree murder. Is that right?
Yeah,
Two counts of armed robbery and what? Attempted second degree murder. That's correct.
yes, sir.
And all right, answer Mr. Renata's questions, please.
Morning, Mr. Foley. Good morning.
Come on.
Mr. Foley, you've been through this process before. You appeared before a parole panel back in March of 2020. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, you almost made it. You got 2 votes that were favorable and 1 vote that was denied.
Yes, ma'am.
Reason, let's see, it was based on the opposition. You had a write-up in 2017. No program since that write-up, and you had opposition, and the opposition still, of course, is there, that you're aware. So since your hearing in March of 2020, what have you been able to accomplish, if anything?
I was able to accomplish living in balance. And I was asked to take anger management all over, and I took it, anger management. And then this last program I took is victim impact.
And did you also, well, right around, I guess, March of 2020, I noticed on the vote sheet that one of the panel members said the grant was based on, required rather, that you would complete Thinking for Change. Completed that program also?
Thinking for a Change? Yeah, I took that class too. Thinking for a Change.
So out of all the classes that you completed, participated in, which one was the most important?
To me, all of them was important, but the one that was stuck out more than the other is victim impact. Victim impact have really showed me my wrong and what I did to hurt people. And it really showed me that I hurted myself as well as other people too. And it helped me to look deep into when I was a child, how I was hurt and how that hurt that I had inside of me had me hurting other people. And I would like to thank y'all for that victim impact, because I really believe every man in prison should take that program, because they open your eyes. I was young when I came to prison, but that opened my eyes to let me know what I was really doing and how deep it is.
That's good to hear you say. Now, is that one that you just finished, or when did you complete the victim impact?
I just completed that program. That was the
Yeah.
last one I completed in December the 8th, 2022.
Well, I'm glad it had an impact on you. So now you know that there are, even you have direct victims of your crime, you know that there's many more victims. Yep.
Can you repeat that again?
I said, I'm glad to hear you say what you said, because now you realize even though there are direct victims of your crime that you're doing time for, there are also many other victims,
Yes, yes,
your family included.
that's right.
How long
And
you, how long you been in jail?
how long I've been? I've been locked up 40 years. I've been to 3 prisons. I was in Angola for 18 years, Allen for 16 years, and now I'm here for 6 years. And each one of them prisons, I have learned to be a better person. And I'm trying every day to try to be better, because I want to go out there in society and help someone to not make the mistake that I made. Because I'm deeply sorry for what I did, because I was raised better than that. My mother and my grandmother, they was angels, and they raised me better than what I did. But like I say, I had something that happened to me when I was a kid, and this program had me to see it. That's why I was doing the things that I was doing, because I was suffering, and I ain't let nobody know. But I'm letting the board know today that this program needs to be did to every person that's in prison, and I guarantee you it's gonna make changes, because it works.
Thank you, sir. What's your transition plan?
My transition plan is to go out there in society and work and be better, and try to get me up.
I understand that, but where are you gonna live, and how will you support yourself?
I'm gonna live with my sister.
Yeah.
And she got her own business out there. She build houses and stuff, and I'm gonna work with her. She already got a job lined up for me. They're waiting on me.
Your health's okay? Your health is okay?
Yeah, I got good health. God have really been taking care of me.
Okay. All right, sir. I don't have any other questions. Warden, can you add to the conversation?
Good morning. He has completed the victim impact class, as he stated, on December the 8th. He hasn't had a disciplinary report since December of 2017. He has 465 days of CTRP credits. He is a minimum level trustee here at Hunt. He works well with our staff. He has a positive attitude and does a good job of having had any negative comments or anything in reference to offender Folley.
All right, thank you. I have no other questions.
And let me go ahead, we just got a piece of paper, let me just list the guests that are there: Pastor Franklin, Ronald Jacks, Michael Maggs, Annette Foley, and Dottie Rosen. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Kerry Meyer, would you like to make a statement?
Yes, good morning. Kerry Myers with the Louisiana Parole Project. I'm glad the warden said that about his trustee status. That's one significant change since his last hearing 2 years ago. He received his trustee status. Besides the fact that he's taken victim impact, he's completed Thinking for a Change, which the board asked him to do, and he's remained right up free. Parole Project is absolutely committed to helping Mr. Foley. We worked with him 2 years ago, and we continuing to stand behind him now. He will complete our program, and once he's completed our program, we will assist him after 40 years of incarceration. We know what his needs will be, at least both short and long term, and we will address all those needs and helping him reintegrate and that's through all our services and programs. After that, he has a family he have strong supportive family to provide him housing and employment. And we would just ask this board, looking at the totality of everything that he's done since his last hearing, he's completed everything the board asked him to do and more, that you would grant him his parole today.
All right, thank you. And now, Ms. Grace, will you be the attorney speaking?
I will.
You would like to wrap up
Yeah,
at the end?
wrap up. And I
Okay.
think the reference to the other speaker.
Okay.
with him. And then.
Okay, Mr. Edward, would you like to go ahead and make a statement?
Thank you for nice to see you. Everything really basically has been said about he has made tremendous change. We've been friends for like over 30 years, and I've seen things that John had. And the most important thing that was mentioned is clarity. Johnny always speak of the fact that because of this clarity, it helps him really reflect within himself. And that's the thing that people in prison have to come to terms with and realizing the person that is home is called. So I just want to say that I'm supporting this innocent project. I'm not there anymore. My job was with the helping guys coming out of prison, helping them make a transformation, helping them go through the process that they need. So I'm here for him. I'm gonna be his personal mentor, and things that I'm gonna be doing to help him is gonna help him understand this is the road that I take coming out of prison. I came out, Ms. Renata gave me this opportunity, and I thank her for that every single day. And what I've done, I've really got my degree, and I'm helping people, I'm helping my community, and the same thing that I'm doing, I'm going to show Johnny with a productive citizen group. And I just hope the board consider this to be.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your comment. And then we have Pastor Franklin, I think there at the facility would like to make a brief statement.
Yes, I'm Pastor Franklin, New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm here on the behalf of Mr. Folley. I have been knowing him and knowing the family over 30 years. We are here today to ask the board, amen, to grant him his parole. I see a big change, since I've been talking to him and communicating with him. I know that he's been through a lot. He's not that same person that he used to be. Amen. He a person that a person of his word. He's a positive person. We're looking forward to, amen, to being supported to him or be a mentor to him, even in the church. Amen. We're gonna bring him to the church. We're gonna look over and look after him. There's things that since he's been in here for 40 years, he lost his mother. He lost his sister, and he lost his brother. And the only somebody that he have really left is his sister. And I'm asking the board, would they grant him his parole? Amen. So he can spend the rest of his life that he have left with his sister. We're gonna stand behind him. The church gonna be behind him 100%. Amen. So we're looking forward to being there for him. We're gonna guide him in the right direction, which he's going in the right direction now. I'm sitting here, I listen at all the programs that he have taken up. And the program that he taken up, he have really changed. So I'm asking the board to grant him his parole today.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for your comment. All right, Johnny, would you like to make a statement? And then we'll let Ms. Grace wrap up at the end.
Yeah, I would like to say, when I first came to prison, I was like bitter, I felt like people owe me this. I felt like people owe me that. But as I done my time and I grow and I learned, I took program, to learn this and learn that. And I see a lot of things happening that's making things change. And I want to be better. I want to be somebody that could go out there in society and stop people from doing things that ain't right. Anything I could do to help a person, I try to help them. And all I want is to be free and opportunity to be with my sister. She all I have left, And I want you to know I feel sorry for what happened to the victims, and I'm truly sorry from the bottom of my heart. And, I just ask that the board, give me that opportunity and let me live, a new life.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Johnny. I will hear from Ms. Gray.
Good morning, board.
Yeah.
Calling the way. Thank you all for having us and person. I met Mr. Folley visiting another client at a land client a few months ago. He was watering the roses outside, and I was lost as a new attorney visiting other clients. And when you go to prisons, a lot of people are asking for help. Oh, you're a lawyer. What do you know? Mr. Johnny didn't do any of that. He just provided. He just stated just wants to help people, and he just helped navigate me. All of the corrections officers had positive things to say about him. He obviously has his trustee status, so he was able to move around with me. And he had an impact on me. And so I decided to take on his case pro bono to help him, because he's tried. He's been before the court before, and in the process of all of that, continue to strive to be better, just because he wants to, because he knows that he has gone through a lot. Oldest of 5 siblings and has 1 sister left. He has a couple nieces, but that's it. And so he has a community of support now that is built up around him. He also has a really strong reentry plan with the Parole project, as well as in New Orleans with both NOLA and other organizations, community members that will make sure to support him. And I think that he has, through all of the institutions that he's been in, been able to continue to strive for that. He's a facilitator of anger management for 6 years. He trained people. He lived on an island and had very minimal write-ups for 40 years of incarceration. And so I asked the board to consider all of those very low risk, his age, time that he has spent during incarceration, and his incredible effort towards rehabilitation, to consider granting parole today.
Thank you so much. That's fair to vote. Mr. Knox.
Mr. Foley. There you are. Mr. Foley, it was a pleasure speaking with you today. I love listening to your takeaway from the Victim Impact Program. That had an impact on me, so thank you for that. Vote today is to grant your parole to the Parole project plan. You have a low risk score. You have had not had any write-ups since your last hearing. You have an obvious good support system with added special conditions after release, the same as before. The curfew 9 to 6, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., attend 2 AA meetings a week, and perform 4 hours of community service per month. Good luck to you.
Ms. Jackson.
Hi, Mr. Foley. You interviewed very well today. You've accomplished a lot during your term of incarceration. There were positive remarks from Warden Russ. And so my vote today, likewise, would be to grant your early release. Good luck to you.
But you have 2 votes to grant your parole today. I also am going to vote to grant your parole today for the same reasons as stated. You'll have stipulations of curfew from 9 p to 6 a, NAAA 2 times a week, and 4 hours of community service per month. You understand stipulations?
Yes, sir.
All right. 2 votes to grant your parole been granted. Good luck to you.
Thank you, man.
Warden Russ. Will you do something for me? Will you straighten that Hunt sign on the, it's driving me insane.
Oh, that's funny.
She didn't hear you, so she didn't hear you. I had you on mute.
Yes, ma'am, I'll have it corrected.
Oh, Miss
Stop
Jackson, funny.
Thank you guys so much.
Oh.
All right, so let's unpack that. Like I said, I have the transcript, and you might be wondering, I wonder if I can catch Carrie's smile at the end. Meyer's smile. That was a big smile. So you might be wondering, like, why does he have a 40-year, 99-year sentence for 2 counts of armed robbery? And well, he went through, he did. So we'll go into the details of it. And regardless, I'm happy he's out. He's been in for a long time, and you know, gosh darn, he's ready to go home. But let's go. Let me just review it, because you probably won't believe what you're hearing. Okay. I can't get, I'm trying to get like something good to, it's so hard to move around. They just don't, gosh. Sorry about this. All right, let's just pick something. And settle with it. So, all right, on September 6, 1982, at about 8:00 p.m., Sandra Sarah, accompanied by her young daughter, was leaving the Walgreens drugstore located on Lafayette Street in Gretna, Louisiana, when she was approached by the defendant. He first asked her where she was going, and then, when they were in the parking lot, asked her to point out her car. The subject then demanded her keys, and Miss Sarah refused to give him the keys. She drew her child close to her, and the defendant told her that if she didn't give him her keys and her purse, he would shoot her. She could see that he had a gun wrapped in his red handkerchief, and he was pointing it at her. That's scary stuff, right? She gave him her keys and purse, thank goodness, and ran back into the store. She was able to see him drive off in a dark blue 1984 Mustang. So this is 1982. It's a new car. I don't think I was crazy about the 1980, though. The next morning, Miss Sarah received a telephone call from a woman who stated that her daughter had found Miss Sarah's purse. She recovered her purse along with her husband, drove around to the immediate area of the subdivision, where she located her car and she notified police. Now this is 2 days later, so that was September 16th, 1982. Now September 19th, 1982. In the evening, Miss Neil Code was seated in her car in a 1980 two-tone gray Mustang with narrow stripes. He liked the 1980 Mustang. In the 2200 block of Huey Long Avenue in Gretna, waiting for her sister. A man later identified as Jonnie Folley walked up to her car and asked Miss Cole if she had a light. She extended her lighter to him and he walked off. A few minutes later, the defendant returned and stuck a gun in her car window and told her to push over because her car had bucket seats. She had some difficulty, and in her panic to comply, she started screaming and hollering. He told her to stop screaming and to push over. He got and started the car, and he pulled off. And she jumped out of a moving vehicle. And by the way, if you guys just want to read this on your own, I'll include the link. Later that same evening, Don Poole. So this is the third incident. So later the same night, so it's still the 19th of September, 1982. Don Poole was working for his first time as the cashier at Eco Service Station in West Bank. Can you imagine that luck? Your first night working the cashier. A subject later identified as John Foley entered the store and walked over to the refrigerated section and got a cold quart of beer. The subject brought it to the counter and asked the price. He then dug into his pocket for his money and pulled out a gun with white bandana wrapped around his hand. He put the gun in the cashier's face and demanded that all the money be put in a bag. The cashier froze, and the order was repeated. The cashier started to hit the buttons in the cash register, and with this, the suspect fired his gun. The bullet striking the cashier in the side. The suspect turned and fled from the store, leaving the quart of beer on the counter. Did he get attempted murder on his charge also? Let me just check here. I just want to check what he was. I want to double check. Jonnie Folley. I don't. Do any of you remember if he? I don't recall that being one of the. Here it is. Oh, second degree. We did get attempted second degree murder. Okay. Well, that makes more sense than just the robbery. All right. So he just shot the cash register on his first night. Gosh. There's no reason to shoot him. The suspect turned and fled from the store, leaving a quart of beer on the counter, and he left the beer. Wait, did he get the money? Okay. He put the gun in the cashier's face and demanded all the money. Okay, so he froze. The cashier started to hit the buttons on the cash register, and with this, the suspect fired, the bullet striking the cashier in the side. We don't even know if he got any money. It just made no sense. It was all irrational behavior. The following evening, a description of the vehicle stolen in the robbery of Miss Cole was broadcasted over to the police frequency. Sergeant Joseph Dean of the Gretna Police Department was driving in the vicinity when the bulletin was given. The sergeant looked ahead and saw that the very same car was traveling right in front of his. It's like it plays out like a movie. This guy robs a Mustang, which he seems to love, 1980, from a poor mother and the child, drives it and leaves it. Then robs another car where a woman literally jumps out in the moving vehicle, goes to a gas station, asks the guy for money, shoots him, doesn't leave with even his beer, forget the money. Then the radio goes to the police officer. It's like, "Oh, watch out for a 1980 Mustang with stripes." And the car's right in front of him. What are the odds? He turned on his red lights and used a public address system in his effort to get the car to pull over. The car sped away at a high speed and the chase ensued. The fleeing vehicle avoided one roadblock, so this has gone for a while if there's a roadblock, but the driver finally lost control of his 1980 Ford Mustang with stripes and everything on 4400 block Newton Street. Sergeant Dean had been following the subject vehicle and was forced to skid to a stop. Right behind him, the driver jumped out of the car and started to run. Sergeant Dean opened his car door and stood upon the floorboard and shouted to the suspect to stop. The subject fell to the ground and then got up and turned toward the officer. As it appeared that he had a weapon in his hand, the sergeant fired one shot. I bet you they had those old revolvers back then, 6-shooters or 9-shooters. Man, I would hate to have just that as a police officer. Subject fell to the ground and got up and turned towards the officer. As it appeared that he had a weapon in his hand, the sergeant fired one shot. The subject turned and ran into the wooded area near 24th Street. The police surrounded the wooded area. The K-9 division was able to track and apprehend the suspect, later identified as our defendant here. At the trial, all the victims who had previously identified the defendant from mugshots, because he had 3 victims, plus the daughter, 4, identified perpetrator crimes. Further fingerprints were lifted from the vehicle and matched those of the defendant. The defendant took the stand and denied he committed the crimes and explained his possession of the victim's Mustang. Oh, he took the stand. Oh man, Johnny. The defendant took the stand and denied he had committed the crimes and explained his possession of the victim's Mustang on the night of the arrest by saying he found the car with the keys in it, of course, and since he always wanted a 1980 Ford Mustang with stripes on it, and he wanted to go to Gretna, he merely drove the car to Gretna. Additionally, the state sought to introduce inculpatory statements made by the defendant to the investigative detectives. The court suppressed some, but admitted those made to Detective Dunn. Defense counsel, in his first assignment of error, contends that the trial court erred in admitting as evidence a statement made to Detective Dunn by the defendants. So basically, part of the appeal process, they're saying that you admitted a statement that the officer took. And what was that statement? On September 20, 1982, the night the defendant was arrested, Detective Dennis Gordon of Jefferson Parish Sheriff Office, who was assigned to investigate the E-Cole robbery and shooting, advised the defendant of his Miranda rights. The defendant signed a statement stating that he understood the rights, but he chose to remain silent. Let me see if any of this we need to go through it anymore. Detective Gordon met with the defendant and without again informing him of his Miranda rights, informed him of a gun and a statement he obtained by Ricky Taylor, implicated the defendant in the armed robbery and the service action. The trial judge suppressed inculpatory statements made by the detective Gordon relative to the E-Cole, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's see if any of it was accepted. The appeal. They're basically saying that he tried to speak to his lawyer, that his Miranda rights were infringed on, that he was read his rights once, but not the second time. Under record circumstances, a review of the court or function is not substitute reviews. Although the sentences are severe, it should be noted the trial court had the discretion to expand it. So basically, he got a sentence, right? We know that. Yeah, it was affirmed. So he didn't get any type of reduction. So yeah, he got 99 years. It was more than just 2 counts of armed robbery. It was like this crazy spree. I mean, it was like Grand Theft Auto. Is that what are the game? Yeah, GTA type situation before GTA existed. And he's just real lucky he didn't kill anyone and he didn't get shot and killed. He was obviously on assumed some type of binge, some type of rage, wasn't thinking rationally, didn't even steal anything successfully. He's a changed man. I don't think he's a risk to anyone right now. And I don't think the board went through these details. It seemed like to be one of those cases where it was set in stone what was going to happen. Unless he had some crazy write-up from the last hearing. You know, they had a hearing, he was denied. They knew he was going to get approved here. Especially when you have Kerry Myers, you just know what's going through. You never know. You never know for sure, but this did seem like a shoo-in. You know, they didn't talk about the crimes at all. They didn't get into the details of it. It was none of that. But how do you feel about this? Do you feel that he served enough time that this was the right move? And that he's going to do great. I already shared my point with you. With that, I will let you go.